Let's dive right into this explainer and build the ultimate stress-free blueprint for exploring New York City's museums with your kids. Because let's be real, if you've ever tried navigating a massive cultural institution with a wild toddler, or say a highly opinionated middle schooler, you know it can honestly feel like an extreme sport. But here's the good news. New York City actually boasts some of the most dynamic, engaging, and genuinely family-friendly museum experiences in the entire world. You just have to know exactly how to tackle them.
Now, you might be looking at this and wondering, are NYC museums actually fun for kids? Like maybe you're worried they're just these stuffy, silent rooms filled with priceless things you absolutely cannot touch. We've all been there, right? Literally whispering, "Don't touch that," on repeat for 3 hours straight. Well, today we are going to bust that myth wide open. We're talking about incredibly interactive spaces, complete with massive sprinkle pools, real-world spy laser mazes, and no joke, actual nuclear submarines you can climb right through. The modern museum experience in New York, it is all about active, hands-on participation.
So here is our roadmap to make sure you get the absolute most out of your trip. We're going to cover interactive and immersive play, big museums kid-sized, age-perfect museum picks, sensory-friendly museum experiences, and finally, budget hacks and freebies. All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, Interactive and Immersive Play, shattering the stuffy museum stereotype. It's actually super fascinating to compare two absolute heavy hitters in the interactive space. On one hand, you have the Museum of Ice Cream, which is basically built for pure, exhilarating fun. Think indoor playgrounds with huge 2-story slides and yeah, eating childhood treats like cotton candy as you go. On the flip side, the Color Factory provides a slightly more educational vibe. It explores the cultural symbology of color, but trust me, it still packs in a ton of fun. They've got this amazing cherry blossom confetti room and a silent disco where everyone wears headphones and dances to the exact same beat, but the room itself is completely silent. And the best part, both of these end in massive, totally kid-approved features, a giant sprinkle pool and a huge ball pit. Now, if your kids are a bit older, you absolutely cannot miss Spicescape. This place is a real game changer. When you walk in, older kids and adults get this high-tech RFID-enabled tracking band. You can test your risk tolerance, or even better, you can actually test your own kids' lie detection skills. I mean, how cool is that? You're literally dodging lasers, scanning surveillance cameras for suspicious behavior, and learning all about World War II code breaking. You even get to see a real Enigma machine. Then at the very end, the museum calculates all your responses and assigns you one of these fascinating spy profiles based on how you did. Will your kid be a cryptologist, a special operations officer? It is incredibly engaging.
Moving right along to Section 2, Big Museums, Kid-Sized. Tackling massive spaces without the meltdown.
Okay, so when you visit a massive institution like the American Museum of Natural History, which by the way consists of 28 interconnected buildings, you literally cannot see it all in one day. If you try, everyone is just going to end up in tears. So what's the secret? You've got to pick a specific focus. Choose your absolute must-see exhibits first. Maybe your kid is completely obsessed with the massive Titanosaurus or that famous replica blue whale. Prioritize those first. Step 2, book extras like the Hayden Planetarium nice and early so you don't get overwhelmed standing in line. Their space theater is this incredibly immersive virtual reality experience, but it definitely requires advanced planning. And step 3, always remember to take breathers in designated interactive zones. And if you're taking the family to the world-famous Metropolitan Museum of Art, let's be honest, your kids might not exactly have the patience for endless galleries of 18th century paintings. But here is a brilliant insider hack. You can utilize interactive, kid-friendly spaces like the 81st Street Studio at the Met. This is a totally free, drop-in discovery area where art and science literally collide. Kids can get their hands dirty investigating the properties of materials like wood and clay. They can play instruments and just take a much-needed breather from the formal galleries. It's the perfect way to scale down a massive, intimidating museum into a fun, bite-sized experience.
Next up is Section 3, Age-Perfect Museum Picks, matching the right museum to your child's stage.
Listen, mapping your itinerary directly to your kids' ages is absolutely crucial. For the youngest travelers, say ages 0 to 6, the Children's Museum of Manhattan is an absolute goldmine. They have this amazing early childhood focus and a dedicated Dora and Diego floor. Play Street Museum's also fantastic for that under 8 crowd, letting them safely role play in a mini grocery store or a fire station. But let's look at Rise NY. That is a totally different story. It's a history museum that ends with this soaring augmented reality ride over the city. It's got a 40-inch height minimum, and while your 9-year-old might think it's the greatest thing ever, the loud noises and simulated drops could completely terrify a 6-year-old. It's the same thing with the Intrepid Museum. To climb through the tight enclosed spaces of the USS Growler nuclear submarine, kids really need to be at least 5 years old. Paying attention to these age guidelines will honestly make or break your trip.
Which brings us to Section 4, Sensory-Friendly Museum Experiences, creating a welcoming space for every family.
Navigating New York City can be incredibly overstimulating for anyone, right? But thankfully, a lot of major institutions are really adapting to create peaceful, highly inclusive environments. Sensory-friendly programs offer modified experiences featuring things like early access before the crowds hit, dimmed lights, reduced sound levels, and tactile learning, all specifically designed to support neurodivergent children. These thoughtful programs give families a real chance to explore, build confidence, and connect with the exhibits without all the stress of massive crowds and overwhelming sensory input.
There are quite a few incredible programs sprinkled across the city that you should definitely know about. The Natural History Museum has their Discovery Squad, and the Intrepid offers special early morning sessions. The Met even provides Discovery's tactile tours where visitors can safely touch specific objects. But honestly, what I found really incredible is the New York Transit Museum's Subway Sleuths program. It's actually housed in an authentic 1936 underground subway station. This program allows autistic children to bond over transit-themed mysteries in a super safe space, guided by trained educators and therapists. It is just a wonderful, incredibly thoughtful way to foster social engagement around a shared interest in trains.
Finally, let's dive into Section 5, Budget Hacks and Freebies, maximizing your itinerary without breaking the bank.
Because New York is expensive, right? But did you know you can actually save a massive 40% on admission to some of the best spots? If you plan ahead and grab a city pass, you can bundle 5 amazing New York sites, and yes, that includes the American Museum of Natural History and the Intrepid Museum. It is a fantastic, stress-free way to check off those big-ticket items while keeping your wallet relatively intact. Furthermore, if you time it right, you can unlock world-class institutions completely for free or on a pay-what-you-wish basis. For example, if you're a New York State resident, the Museum of Modern Art gets you in free on Friday evenings. The Bronx Zoo, free tickets every single Wednesday. The Brooklyn Museum hosts its famous free First Saturdays, and the Whitney offers free entry on Friday evenings and the second Sunday of every month. The one catch here? For almost all of these, you still absolutely need to reserve your free tickets online in advance, because trust me, they will fill up lightning fast.
And don't forget, there are also some fantastic spots sprinkled right across the boroughs that are always 100% free to enter all day, every day. The National Museum of the American Indian downtown is a Smithsonian institution, so it's always free. And it offers tons of interactive elements for kids, like playing in a teepee or matching animal drawings. You've also got MoMA PS1 in Queens, the Queens Museum, and the Bronx Museum. Having these on your radar gives you endless options for totally spontaneous, budget-friendly exploration.
As we start to wrap up this explainer, I just love this philosophy from a family travel expert. Wherever I am, I aim to travel respectfully, show my kids new things, and learn more than I teach. Ultimately, bringing your kids to these interactive, beautifully curated spaces isn't just about killing time on a rainy day or, getting that perfect social media photo. It's a genuine opportunity to foster their curiosity, explore the world together, and actually learn right alongside them.
So, armed with this incredibly smart blueprint, complete with interactive fun, sensory-friendly options, clever budget hacks, and age-appropriate adventures, the only question left to ask is, which NYC museum will your family conquer first? Will it be dodging lasers in the spy mazes, standing in awe in the dinosaur halls, or literally diving into a pool of sprinkles? Dive in, make a solid plan, and go enjoy absolutely everything this incredible city has to offer your family.